we would like a volunteer to lead us in Muslim and Christian prayer so that we employ the presence of God in our midst before we start the program. Can we have a volunteer who can lead us Christian? Okay, John.
Let's stand up and let's pray. In Jesus' name. Father, we thank you for today. Thank you for your mercies that endures in our midst. Thank you for this day. You said you create and we shall rejoice in it. Thank you for such a wonderful moment. Unto you we come with this program. We pray that your presence comes in the room. Come against every plan and plot of the enemy. We sanctify this place with your blood, with your power. Whatever discussion we discuss here today will be of essence and will continue to yield that impact in the fight against rabies in our country. Thank you. Take all the glory in Jesus' name.
Amen. Muslim? Any imam, sheikh? Any? Yes. Thank you so much, my brother, for our brothers for leading us in Christian and Muslim prayer. Okay, thank you so much. We now move to the next item of the agenda, which is the welcome address by the representation of the Permanent Secretary.
Good morning, all. On behalf of the Honorable Minister, Deputy Ministers, Permanent Secretary and top management of the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, I want to heartily welcome you all to this auspicious occasion. One thing I always like to emphasize is that health always comes first. So anything that has to do with health, we must take it very seriously and ensure that whatever that we need to do to make sure that the program succeeds, we must do. So today, it is a pleasure to receive you all to celebrate the World Rabies Day. Pretty soon, we will get data, information on what rabies is and what has been done to prevent it, what are the steps taken to make sure that our community and people are safe. So again, I welcome you to this wonderful celebration, and I believe we will all learn and get a fruitful time here this morning. Thank you very much for coming, and wish you a pleasant.
Thank you so much, our ministry representative from the top management. We now call on the person who will be chairing this program. He's not as a person, but the representation of our Director General, General Razin. She will be the one chairing this World Rabies Day 2023 commemoration. So I now hand over the mic to General to take the head of the ship, which will lead us to the rabies. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Leone. I join the top management to welcome you all to this global celebration, and we are happy for Sierra Leone to be part of this celebration. As Mr. Leone said, I am representing the Chief Agriculture Officer of the Ministry, and I want to assure you that I will hold this chair according to your wishes, and we will all land safely. So, as chairman also, I see the chairman's opening remarks. In the remarks now, we are celebrating World Rabies Day. We know it's a virus. It's a virus that affects animals and humans. Then we also know that over 98% of human infection is caused by dog bites. We all know that rabies is caused by dog bites. Then we also know that its effect takes place in the host when the virus travels by the central nervous system to the brain. Then it also replicates when it reaches the brain. Then rabies, 100% can be prevalent through vaccination of the dogs. But once the signs and symptoms are manifested, it cannot be cured. And in our local language, what do we know? Well body, na gentry. So it means one health. We should be concerned about the health of the animal and that of the health of the human. Because otherwise, one will efface. If the human don't efface, the animal will efface. And we need to cohabit in this world. Then we also know that rabies is also a zoonotic disease, meaning its transmission from animals to human. All mammals, that is animals that breastfeed their youngs, get rabies, except chicken, snakes, reptiles, fish. But we do not have to blame the dogs, because dogs on their own to contract the virus through wild. So in order for us, they are not born with the virus. So in order for us not to blame dog, we need to find a cure and prevention. So the global effect, over 59,000 to 60,000 people are infected globally, especially among children aged 0 to 15 years. The above deaths occur mostly in Africa and Asia. And as Sierra Leone, we find ourselves in the West African part. So it's a concern for us, it's a concern for our country, it's a concern for the ministry, it's a concern for the nation. So if we are here today celebrating this day, we need to take the necessary caution, the necessary preventive measure in order to contain the death rate as mentioned globally in the global effect for rabies. So on that note, I wish we all a fruitful stay here and hope the statement here will be very meaningful to us. I thank you for your attention, and on the next agenda we have introduction of high table and other key dignitaries by the WRD 2023 committee, Mr. S. Bar. Over to you, Mr. S. Bar. Yes.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I have a very simple task here today, but it's very complicated because introducing the most important people you can say good is task that is not an easy task. But I will try to do my best. I will start from the far end here, from my right end, coming this way. On my far right, we have Mohammed A. Kamara, representing Environment Protection Agency, and he is a manager in charge of chemical control and management. Next to him is Usman Justin Conte, representing the Sierra Leone Red Cross. He is the project manager for the CP3 project, as one of our partners who supported this year's War Rabies activity. Next to him is a veteran, a vet, a household name also, and for his introduction, I'm just doing it because it's a task, but I hope as far as this gathering is concerned, Rabies is a household name. Is no less a person but Alhaji Dr. Abdul Jallo is representing the National Rabies Control Task Force, and also is the executive director of SLAUS, Sierra Leone Welfare Society. Next to him is one of our great supporters. They've been with us under rain, under sun, and they are always with us. This is Mr. James S. Fofana, the Chief of Party Breakthrough Action. Next to him is the center pillar of what we are here doing, the One Health platform, the environment, animal, human health, and is the dynamic, effective, efficient national technical coordinator, Mr. Joseph Bonding Grady. Of course, next to him is also one of our biggest supporters, and if we are here today, they made it possible, and is here representing the hectare team, is the hectare team lead of the Food and Agricultural Organization. He is Dr. Benson. Next to him is the representative of the Permanent Secretary and representative of the Honorable Minister of Agriculture. So it's one stone thrown into that. He's here representing the PS, the Senior Permanent Secretary, and the Honorable Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Fitz alone. So it's no less a person that can be. Next to him is, of course, our Honorable Chair, Madam Chair. You've heard her, the brilliant introduction she just gave, and I believe all of us can fit really seriously from what we heard from her. Is Madam Geneva, representing the Chief Agriculture Officer of the Ministry of Agriculture. Next to him is our just outgoing dynamic director of the Livestock and Veterinary Services Division of the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security. Is no less a person but Mr. Mohammed Al-Fatah. Then next we have a representative of the World Health Organization Emergency Response Officer, is Victor Kuta. And we are here. We cannot be here if the country is not stable. We cannot be here if the country is not peaceful. So we are here in our midst with representative from the Office of National Security, ONS. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much for the role you have played. I think we are now comfortable. We have known now the high level of profile people seated here for this occasion, for this auspicious occasion today in celebrating the World Rabies Day. So from the introduction, we'll hear the preventive messages. Next on the agenda is the statement from the One Health Technical Coordinator. That's Mr. Joseph Bunting Grady. Let's give him a hand.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. Mr. Chairman and representative of the Honorable Minister, and all protocols observed. I am happy to join this galaxy of representatives of institutions across the One Health sectors to commemorate this World Rabies Day. This is a day that is recognized across the world, and Sierra Leone is joining all other countries that consider rabies as a threat. We are not just gathered here just in the name of gathering. This gathering yearly sends a message. And so, our numbers in our gathering is not the message. The message that we'll be sending today in our country and the world over will be taken from each one of us represented here, emphasizing specifically their areas of interest, but communicating the same threat that we have in our country. Rabies, from the One Health perspective, we have prioritized it as one of our zoonotic diseases of interest, and a major one. Major in the sense, today as I speak, we have not fully assessed the burden of rabies in Sierra Leone, which is a big challenge to any country, because for the security people, you know, if you cannot assess the threat properly, then you cannot prepare to counter that threat. So, even at baseline, we're still grappling with data to actually understand how serious the threat is in our country. But of course, science has informed that when you are bitten by a rabid dog, your chances of surviving is slim. Nonetheless, even with that gap as a country, the mechanisms that are in place using the One Health platform are doing their best to raise awareness through the support of our partners who are here with us, at least for the populace to understand that this threat is in the country. And for those who are acquainted with public health dynamics, you can only respond to any threat when you know what the threat is and where the threat is, and with other elements for you to actually put your resources together. But we are still struggling with that. As a platform, I join shoulder to shoulder with all colleagues here from the different line ministries and our partners to press press home to our authorities that the threat of rabies is serious in our country. And now that we find ourselves in this platform, we'll continue to hype it, and we continue to call the attention of our authorities at the highest political level to understand that our communities are at risk of rabies. Wednesday after Wednesday, at the Emergency Preparedness and Response meeting, the APRG meeting at the EOC in Cochrane, we severally receiving information about dog bites and receiving information about rabbit cases in the country. So to tell you that we have cases of rabies in our country. Thank God for our partners like the FAO, at least as a country. We can now identify or diagnose and bring out a confirmatory result to tell you that yes, at this stage, we can now say this is, a rabid infection or it is not. Before now, it was not. Thank God for the effort of our partners who have been supporting for this effort. Before now, we never had such diagnostic facility. But thank God for FAO for supporting the government of Sierra Leone. We continue to call for more so that much more could be done. And first of all, identifying cases and pulling those who are at risk, protecting communities, and doing all that we can. Breakthrough action, supporting the actions of communication to their communities, even to our local populace, to understand the disease at their level. Because we must transcend this position of communicating just in one language, but in multi-languages that are in country, so that our community people who are at risk most will understand the threats. You all know, and many of us who are here might have dogs in our homes. But if we should ask, how many of us who have dogs and have taken the responsibility to vaccinate those dogs, or have the opportunity through the campaigns when some of the communities or few communities, we are targeted at a particular point in time to vaccinate dogs just to protect, the community. But of course, the science provides that effort is not sufficient to actually prevent, the populace from rabies infection. We need to do more. We know it's capital intensive, but nonetheless, the cost of a life is much more important than the resources it takes to prevent our population. Let me conclude by saying that this year-to-year activity is not our goal. This is just a commemoration of the World Rabies Day. All the days that lies ahead from now gives us the opportunity to do more as a country and as a government, to actually understand what the professionals are saying. But the responsibilities also rest with the professionals to package this information in a friendly way, executive-friendly way, so that our political, leaders will understand the threat that we face. So once more, I want to thank the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security who are taking lead in this fight, and all the other stakeholders and our partners who have been joining in supporting them with the resources, at least to demonstrate that even with the little resources that we have, we can still vaccinate dogs. And that means if we have more, we can do more. And so we call all the partners who can support. You might not have mandate with regards to supporting or providing resources in this regard, but life protecting life is very, very important, so your resources are needed. That said, I want to thank you for joining us in commemorating this day. But before I conclude, my family has not been a victim of rabies, but there are those whose family might have been a victim of rabies. And from the clip that was shown last year's celebration, it is horrifying to see how somebody who is beaten by a rabid dog dies. I'm not sure any one of us want to identify with that. That said, if there is anyone in this country whose family member has suffered such, who might have the opportunity to even, see us commemorating this day, we want to join them and sympathize, for their loss at any point in time if they have suffered, this dangerous, harm. So I want us to observe a moment of silence for any citizen of our country whom at any point in time might have been bitten by a rabid dog and could not survive because we hadn't the vaccines, or the response was late, or he or she was not even aware that the dog was a rabid dog. Let's observe a moment of silence. May God have mercy upon us, and may God help us. God bless you.
Thank you very much. That's the statement from One Health Technical Coordinator, and from the statement we can understand how we should treat this disease very serious, because there is no data for our country for now, but the prevalence there, Africa is mentioned when we look at the global effect. So also I will join him that we need to get mechanism from the government and our partners in order to develop the data for this disease. So we will be able to know our responses and preparedness. Thank you very much, Mr. Coordinator. Next on the agenda, statement from Breakthrough Action. Before that statement, let me go back. Do we have the CMO here? Doctor? No. Okay, that's fine. So we have the statement now from Breakthrough Action. That's the Chief of Party.
Okay, Madam Chair, the High Table, all due protocols observed. Good morning, all. I like the way you emphasize Chief of Party. When people call that name, don't mind, it's a title. I'm often in the position to explain to people it's a title. It's like a country, not a political party, it's like a country that I okay. Yes, I mean, the stories around rabies and the fight to eliminate rabies in Sierra Leone, those stories will not end now. And the reason being is rabies is a serious matter in this country. And if we don't have the data, we don't have the evidence, to show how serious this issue is in the country, to me that's the number one challenge. Because for you to tackle a problem, as a programmer, we are often told and we are taught in our various platforms that you have to understand the issue and you have to understand the severity of the issue and how that issue affects the society where you live in, you know, in such ways that will enable you to come up with practical solutions, you know, to tackle the problem. Having said that, I don't know, we have done a lot as a nation and as partners and as a government, you know, to tackle rabies. And I was talking to one of my colleagues this morning, in retrospect, basically talking about the efforts and fight that has been directed towards eliminating rabies in Sierra Leone. And there's a lot already been done. But the challenge is big. And the challenge cannot be handled by one institution, by one entity, by one partner. It requires collaboration. It requires us all to come together. And reflecting back on the validation of the One Health Governance Manual, 3 terms came up that are really very strong. And those terms are very important in coordinating any fight that has to do with ending a public health threat. Communication, collaboration, and coordination. It's important as fighters, who call ourselves fighters to eliminate rabies, for us to communicate well and with the right audience, to coordinate our efforts in ways that are effective and deliver results, and to collaborate in what we do. Because we do have various strengths in it. And for this reason, when Breakthrough Action came to Sierra Leone with funding from USAID, our efforts have been directed towards our areas of strength. And we've done a lot in terms of working with One Health Risk Communication and Community Engagement Technical Working Group, which comprise a lot of partners and MDs in that group. You know, to design a campaign, to implement a campaign, to assess and evaluate the efforts of that campaign, to advocate and you name it in the fight against rabies. As I speak, 3 circles of rabies campaign have been implemented by that technical working group under the One Health umbrella. And I think they will do a presentation to this body to just see the efforts that they have directed towards raising awareness and making sure, you know, those, the public in general, Sierra Leone knows about rabies, understands dog bites and the implication it could have on the health of the Sierra Leonean population. So those updates will definitely share with all of you, and you'll see the level of effort that has been directed towards that. But I would say, you know, in all of those efforts, and this is my experience in really directing my efforts and the efforts of our organization and the technical working group for risk communication towards the awareness raising, is you build the knowledge, you improve attitudes and behaviors. But when it comes to accessing, you know, the human rabies vaccine in particular, you know, there is a challenge. It's like you meet somebody and say, if you're bitten by a dog, you can go to clinic A and you can access a they call it a PEP, pre-exposure prophylaxis vaccine or post-exposure one. And the person goes to that place and there is either no vaccine or it's slightly expensive. or it ends up being expired. We've seen cases, I think 1 or 2 cases, I don't know if it was last year, where a 7-year-old girl was beaten by a dog, and then they did all the right steps, went to access the vaccine, but eventually died because the vaccine was expired. So these are the practical issues that we face as a nation, in the fight against rabies. So it requires us all to use all of our, strengths in the areas where we think we're strong. If you are a partner that is there to import both animal or human rabies vaccines, that's your part. You do your part in the fight against rabies. If you're into communication, you contribute to awareness raising. If you're into advocacy for more of the commodities that are required to fight rabies, you do that. So we all need to combine our efforts, to fight this battle. And this battle, our focus is all on perhaps looking at domestic animals, dogs. We've not even looked at the wildlife, the severity of rabies in wildlife. We don't know. But the experts are on the table. Maybe they will talk about it. FAO is here. We have Dr. Gudush here. All they are the experts. So we have a problem. Basically, that's what I would say. We have a problem. And that problem cannot be fought by one person, one institution, one government. It's a collective effort. And that's why I like the theme of this year's celebration. All for one health for all. We all have to come together. We have to be on board this fight as one in order to be able to make the result that are significant enough to eliminate rabies. Having said that, I just want to thank you all for patience and time. And let's continue to look forward to the presentations, the technical presentations that were presented, and we'll all learn from that and go back to our offices, our organizations, and our MDs to reflect on all of these and do what you can in your own little corner to contribute towards the fight. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The chief of party has spoken, and he spoke really as the chief of party because the other partners who have to be in this party has been raised awareness about them. So it's like what we are expecting, a combined effort. You mentioned coordination, collaboration, communication, the right audience, then the campaign. Having done all those, then the vaccine, if it is available in the clinic, it is costly and it will be there and expire, while maybe people will be dying. So all the parties connected need to do their needful in order for us to prevent this disease. So thank you, Mr. Party. The name party, chief of party, you display it. So at the end of the day, he also said when we go back to our offices, we should reflect. And that reflection will give us the synergy to move ahead. Next on the program is the statement from the WHO Country Representative.
Madam Chair, colleagues on the high table, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed, good morning. I bring you greetings from our rep, Dr. Innocent Bright, who is also attending a very important meeting this morning at the launching of the Personal Development Plan at EOC. However, WHO acknowledged the government's efforts and the support given by the essential partners in improving the understanding and benefits, including opportunities for a One Health approach in fighting rabies. Rabies, we all know, is a vaccine-preventable disease which occurs in more than 150 countries. It causes tens of thousands of deaths every year, mainly in Asia and Africa. And as rightly said by the chairperson, 40% of those deaths are children under 5 years of age, under 15 years of age. Dogs are the main source of human rabies, death contributing to about 99% of all rabies transmissions to humans. Rabies can be prevented through vaccination of dogs and prevention of dog bites. Globally, rabies causes an estimated cost of $8.6 billion per year. So that's a huge burden. Therefore, a One Health approach assures the engagement of multiple sectors and local communities to build awareness and conduct mass dog vaccination campaigns. There are efforts currently directed at the elimination of rabies, human rabies to be specific, by the year 2030. In Sierra Leone, far back in 1951, a case of rabies was confirmed in this country. Since then, clinical cases have been reported in health facilities, and because of that, WHO supported the Ministry of Health in one of our stakeholders' engagement. That is when we are looking at adapting the 3rd edition IDSA technical guideline to at least capture dog bites as a proxy for rabies. I am happy the technical coordinator said data is very, very important. And I believe those presentations made weekly has created some concern among stakeholders that something has to be done for the prevention of rabies. Sierra Leone, like many other countries in Africa and Asia, are challenged with policy on dog ownership and limited access to vaccines. However, as we commemorate today with the theme rabies, all for one health for all, we must employ a multidisciplinary approach to implement COVID interventions and the implementation of the recommendations made by stakeholders in Bo 2 years ago. Celebrating this day is important, but there are things we should do so that at least we can reduce the burden of rabies in this country. In that particular meeting, it was a big meeting. We agreed that bylaws at community level must be strengthened and implemented, especially in controlling stray dogs. Stray dog management must be strengthened. The lab in Makeni, the animal lab, should be strengthened. Communication, social and behavioral change should also be strengthened. And we should decentralize One Health in all districts. Build the capacity of both human and animal workforce. Strengthen reporting and surveillance. Provision of vaccines for both human and animals. Lastly, research. In providing vaccines for humans, for the past 2 weeks, the NTD wing of the Ministry of Health and WHO have had serious of online engagements with our Afro counterparts, that's our headquarters in Brazzaville, to see how they can facilitate the process of making sure that we have human vaccines in this country. So I'm glad to say that that's something ongoing. We hope very soon we can achieve that, so that at least we'll have a reliable source of getting the vaccine when somebody is bitten. It will interest you to note that somebody from my district was bitten by a dog. That individual paid transport and came to Freetown. He was directed at the medical stores. He went there for the vaccine. He paid his money. The vaccine was given to him, not knowing that somebody at the corner there was using vaccines that are fake. At the end of the day, the individual died. So that is a signal that we should take rabies prevention very, very important. Because you can't imagine somebody coming from hundreds of miles away to seek help, good services, and at the end of the day, the wrong service was administered to that particular patient. May his soul rest in perfect peace. I want to join my colleague to urge all of us as partners. Let us make sure that we implement the recommendations that were agreed on some time ago. I believe if we do that, then definitely the future will be bright for this country. I thank you.
Thank you very much, the representative from WHO, World Health Organization, and we are talking here about our health, be it animal or human. And right from the program, the theme, he made mention about the theme for this year, One Health for All, and also admonish the parties, their commitment to the prevention. And also, I think there should be a monitoring mechanism, because how can someone go to the clinic where he or she is expected to get the right treatment and somebody behind there is doing otherwise? And at the end, life, which is so precious, was lost. So I think we need to do so many monitoring. Then also you mentioned the multidisciplinary approach for the prevention, the vaccine, and also the awareness, raising the awareness. And I think WHO very concerned about health, so it's like we need to see the same thing goes, reflection. We need to reflect how we can come up with programs and projects that can speak to all these things we are discussing here today pertaining to the cure, prevention, and awareness messages. Thank you very much, the representative from WHO. And now I will call on the country representative for FAO to make his or her statement.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I would like, first and foremost, to convey the FAO representative apologies for not being able to participate in person in this very important meeting. This is due to a very important mission from our regional coordinator for West Africa, which is in the country since Monday, and is having very high-level consultations, and at the moment, he is really having with the World Bank. So he has requested me to present his speech, and I'm going ready to do so. I will read his speech. And let me say this. Honorable Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, or his representative of the Minister of Health and Sanitation, representative of the Minister of Environment and Climate Change, Tameto country representative, representative of the United States Agency for International Development, Global Health Security Advisor, Mrs. Tayo Spenters Walters, a worship to Mayor of Freetown City, National One Health Platform, ministries, departments, and agencies. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, it's gives me great pleasure to be here today to mark the 18th World Rabies Day. This year's theme, All for One Health for All, highlights that One Health is not for a selected few, but for everyone. This theme further emphasizes the importance of equality and strengthening overall health system by ensuring that One Health is something that should be available to everyone. By collaborating and joining forces across sectors, engaging communities, and committing to sustain dog vaccination, together as one, we can work towards one goal, to eliminate one disease and to make One Health available to all, using rabies as the example. With the Zero by 30 global strategic plan for the elimination of dog-mediated human rabies death by 2030, we have a shared global goal, and the world has the vaccine, the world has the medicines, the world has the tools, and the world has the technologies to break the cycle of one of the oldest diseases. Together, in unity, we can eliminate rabies, leaving no one behind. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2015, the tripartite, which comprises the World Health Organization, the World Organization for Animal Health, and FAO, developed the global strategic plan for the elimination of dog-mediated human rabies deaths by 2030, which aims at achieving zero human deaths linked to canine rabies by 2030.
strategy for the eradication of rabies and enhancement of dog population in Sierra Leone for the period 2015 to 2030. We also do have as well a rabies national action plan. These are key documents guiding interventions leading at ensuring that cunning rabies is eliminated in the country by 2030. FAO has been actively involved in ensuring that Sierra Leone puts in place relevant strategies and mechanisms for the national control of rabies, and with the support from the USAID under the Global Health Security Agenda and now under the Global Health Security Program. FAO equipped and refurbished a state-of-the-art biosafety level 2 Central Veterinary Laboratory at Tico, Makini, for testing and confirmation of suspected rabies cases in the country, among other infectious diseases. Through this capacity, CVL has confirmed 28 dog rabies cases from 2020 to 2023, and these from various districts in the country. Ladies and gentlemen, as we heard from WHO, rabies is 100% preventable virus disease, and it is important to note that dogs are the main source of human rabies cases, contributing to 99% of all rabies transmission to humans. According still to WHO, 40% of the people bitten by suspected rabies dog are children under 15 years of age. Given this, I think the time has come for the government of Sierra Leone and also for partners to facilitate the availability of dog and human rabies vaccines in the country to ensure sustained mass vaccination of at least over 70% vaccination coverage of dogs and cats, and to protect humans after exposure to the rabies virus and those at risk. I must say that FAO has continuously supported the government through the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security with dog and human rabies vaccines to commemorate World Rabies Day celebrations. And for this year, I'm happy to report that FAO has provided 3,000 doses of dog rabies vaccines and 150 doses of human rabies vaccines to protect people, frontline animal health workers, and laboratory personnel at the CVL who are mostly at risk due to their occupation. And I can also confirm that yesterday, very late in the evening, we have acquired additional doses of modern canine vaccines for the country with syringes, equipment, and so on and so on. I think this morning has been already handed over to the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security. Further, FAO, in collaboration with the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, supported mass vaccination of dogs and cats against rabies as part of support toward implementation of the national strategy for the elimination of rabies and enhancement of dog population management in Sierra Leone. These activities were conducted in 2022 countrywide in all the 15 districts. During the exercise, over 4,078 dogs and cats were vaccinated against rabies. We also plan to support mass dog vaccination this year as part of our contribution toward the implementation of the national rabies elimination strategy. We should all keep in mind that rabies is a major barrier to realization of sustainable development goal, and particularly the SDG 3, and also the FAO for veterans that we know all very well, namely better production, better nutrition, a better environment, and a better life. These SDGs and 4 betters aim at ensuring healthy life and promoting well-being of all ages. Therefore, we need to act now to eliminate rabies by the year 2030. Madam Chair, as I conclude, I wish to emphasize that close intersectoral collaboration, it has already been said by Dr. Grady, is vital to eliminate rabies and also to address other shared health threats and the human-animal ecosystem interface. As FAO, we look forward to continuing working closely with the government of Sierra Leone, the partners, to support and sustain rabies elimination activities in the country. Only together we can ensure a safer and healthier future for the people of Sierra Leone and the world. I would like at this juncture to take the opportunity to thank the government of Sierra Leone for its strong partnership and collaboration. I would like also really to take this opportunity to thank the United States government for their funding they have extended to FAO under the Global Health Security Program to support the country to prevent the
very much, Mr. Representative, Council Representative for FAO. FAO is the Food and Agriculture Organization, global, and we acknowledge your support to the ministry. You highlighted so many things, including the Sustainable Development Goal, which we are all working towards. Then you also mentioned about together we can eliminate rabies, leaving no one behind. But at county level, you said there is no national strategy or action plan. So we seated here from the other organization, the ministry, we need to take notes. So in this year's celebration, so much is coming out that we need to take note in order to strategize and plan, put an action on course. Thank you very much once again, Mr. Representative from the FAO. I now call on the representative from the USAID. Council, okay, we go to the next. The representative from NLAWIC, progress made to date on rabies control. That's statement from Dr. Abdul Qudus Jallo. Yes, sir.
Members of the high table, all of the protocols observed. First of all, I want to continue a question that Mr. Bunting wanted to actually ask for. He did not ask us to get results. Now, what I'd like to know, here, I start from the high table, I really want to know how many of us here have dogs at home? How many of them are vaccinated? 10? You people, how many of you have dogs at home? The cats? The cows? Yes, that shows how much we really put interest in dogs. And we know rabies problem is really not a dog problem. It's a human problem. All the dogs, cats, you see straying are representative of irresponsible pet owners. Are we responsible pet owners here? Yes, some say yes. So cannot say anything because they don't know about dogs. Now I tell you why I entered into rabies. Thanks to Bunting, I entered into rabies because I lost a brother to rabies. And that's why they want me to go into rabies, to the fight against rabies. Now, we say, if you don't look at the welfare, I'm talking now, the good thing here today, I note that so many of the statements made, they are not from vets. Meaning that we now see how people are concerned about rabies, how they can really present about rabies not being a vet. That's why I'm so happy about that. It shows the concern about rabies and also the awareness. I don't even want to go through here because I had some history. So people don't know how we got to where we are. But interestingly, most of the problems have been highlighted. Lack of data, lack of coordination, lack of awareness, working together and being on the spot. And I'm very happy with this conference, but I'm very disappointed rabies celebration comes once a year on one day, 28 September. I think this day should have been really put aside by all the institutions. The Minister of Agriculture, the Minister. Minister of Health, the Minister. FAO, the representative. WTO, the representative. These are the people who used to attend these conferences. Really, when they are here, when they are present, it makes really a big difference than when they are represented. So I hope that the next 28 September, please take note of it, only 28 September, one day a year, let's be here all together to celebrate it. And also we note that vaccination, we try to eliminate rabies. It has been said, preventable disease. But we say for it to be prevented, we need to vaccinate at least 70 to 75% of the dogs must be vaccinated, and this vaccination has to be done regularly, mostly annually. We've been vaccinating dogs some years ago in response to sporadic outbreaks. This time we are getting support with Mustache FAO and FAO for helping with the provision of vaccines. And what I see, sometimes vaccines are provided. I think there are some other challenges of commitment. Sometimes from government. Sometimes you don't get the full support of all the donors. There can be many pledges. And if you have vaccine, which I know it has happened many years ago, hope that it will not happen again. If you have vaccines, because of field support, these vaccines expire. That's very, very frustrating. And it's happening. We have to really be more and more committed, even at institutional level. We cannot wait always for these allowances. Sometimes they have, if you know what it means to lose somebody from rabies. For those who have seen people dying of rabies, they know what it meant. I've seen more than 20 people dying of rabies in this country. So we have to work together. The WHO representative mentioned the amount of somebody mentioned the amount of money, they call also some of money that is being spent on rabies. But we spend so much money in the provision of human rabies, which is more than 10 times expensive than animal rabies. Immunoglobulins, you don't know, they are more expensive. Why that money should have been spent on the prevention of rabies through vaccination? Of course, we need to have those things for emergencies so that we can vaccinate people who are being exposed to rabies. And for the rabies, the One Health platform, they're doing very well, and they are the coordinating body. I think we say Salome, we have very good One Health coordination, but we have to be very honest to ourselves. Are we really coordinating well? If you are coordinating well, there shouldn't be any class of activities on this one single day that comes once a year. Ladies and gentlemen, let's first be committed. 4th of August, the 4th of October, the World Animal Day. It goes to a week. Of course, now we are trying. We have not won. And today we are here today because I note this country, we worked on a strategic plan some years ago together. I remember the breakthrough was there, FAO was there, the baby was there, Minister of Health was there. We worked on a strategic plan. And recently, last year, they failed a mission to do a strategic plan for Sierra Leone. And that document was available. It has never been popularized. It has never been acted upon. We cannot continue with sporadic vaccination and say 4,000 doses, 10,000 doses a year. It cannot take us much. And we know the dog breeding system. One dog can give us up to 5 puppies, 10 puppies, 15 puppies a year. So how are we going to control it? The vaccination is not continuous. We have to do it regularly and annually. So we really have to work together. And we want to thank the donors, and we want more support from these donors. And something that is lacking, there are 2 key documents we have been fighting for the past, I can't remember how many years ago, since I was the minister at the vet. The Animal Disease Act, Animal Welfare and Protection Act, but I cannot call it Act or Bill, whichever the name I don't know what to carry. But we've never been able to pass them through. We've gone, I think, Dr. Barwick laws, we've got up to cabinet level, but they become only useful when they go to parliament, on which I'm really asking all stakeholders to, if it is to lobby, please help us to lobby. Whatever needs to be done, we need those documents out, because they are the guiding legal document to work with. If you don't have them, we cannot go further. And we cannot continue working without documents. And we know there are a lot of animal cruelty going. There are people killing dogs, beating them. Some say they are making a mess everywhere, forgetting their rule of security. The victims forgetting that they have a very, very big role in the homes for protection. Sometimes, even when we human beings, we kill people, they only remember the bad things we do to them. The good things, we don't remember them. And we know how many unpaid jobs these dogs are doing in terms of protecting our communities. Apart from all that, they clean. Somebody will make a mess somewhere, the dog will take it down, okay, I will manage it. So, what are we going to do? This dog, they used to say, dog is man's best friend. That's really true. Yes. The dogs are our friends, but are we friends of the dogs? No. And the best security we'll have, the most committed one we'll have, is the dog. And for us, for parents, we know the children spend more time with their pets than their parents. And they are so exposed to rabies from unvaccinated dogs. If you do not have a dog, don't think that they are safe, because their neighbor's dog who is not vaccinated can come and visit you. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to join each and every one of us here who are talking and pleading on the individual commitment to this work, this fight we are on. You see, we have all this challenge. I remember talking with Mountain and so many people. People continue to say, yes, vaccinating 70-75% eliminate rabies. What of the continuous breeding of these dogs? What are we going to do? So to me, it's not only vaccination, it's also dog population humane. Let me put it on the scholar. Humane dog population management. If that is done, surely will solve those problems. I'm happy that FAO reps saying we are having rabies vaccine, human rabies vaccine too. But for most of us here, we see we don't have dogs, but our neighborhoods have dogs. Please take the message that we need to vaccinate the dogs. And somebody will say they don't know about rabies. I mean, there has been a lot of singing, dancing about rabies in the radio to the Minister of Health, Minister of Agriculture, Information Net. I've been singing it always. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to join everybody to thank you for coming. And please, next year, let's not have empty chairs. I see so many empty chairs. And please, those who are representing organizations, please tell their representatives to put from today, next year, September 28th is World Rabies Day. Let's be committed to address to keep that day. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abdul Quddus Jallow, for that your statement. And you mentioned about the Act, the Animal Welfare Act. I think that will be considered, because I can remember in one management meeting, the minister was asking to submit outstanding policies they are working on, the ministry is working on, to take to cabinet. Then also, I think we should also toe the line with you. You mentioned about tackling the prevention from where it is coming. We should do some sort of management to the dogs, their population, because it's from the dog that it is transferred to the human. When the dog bites, then the human catch it. So it's like we need to do more on the dog population so we can prevent and eliminate this disease in our country and in the entire world at large. The next statement will come from the Freetown City Council. So our representative from our mayor, our worship, the mayor. Is there no representation? Okay, go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much, Madam Chair. We have the privilege now to call on the IT group when calling the representation of the Ministry of Health and Sanitation, since the sanitation has been out to the Ministry of Water Resources. So he's not less impressive for Dr. Kano. He's the Deputy Program Manager Surveillance for Human Health. It was welcome him.
You are most welcome, sir. The next, the representative from FCC. We do have? Okay. Let's move on to the next speaker. Minister of Environment and Climate Change. Yeah? Okay.
Madam Chair, members of the high table, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and all protocols observed, on behalf of the Minister of Environment and Climate Change, the
the executive chairman of the Environment Protection Agency and board, director of Forestry Division. I bring you greetings from them. It's an honor for me to be part of this celebration. As Dr. Abdul Qudus Jallo mentioned, this day is a very important day, and therefore we should all put our efforts together to celebrate this day once a year, 28th of September. It was not a mistake to include the environment in the One Health platform. The theme for this year, all for one, one health for all, is a clear justification, because environment is the universal host for all of these zoonotic diseases. And for a sustainable development, we need to have a safe environment in which humans and animals are also safe. I also want to toe the line of other former speakers who have emphasized on the 3 C's: communication, coordination, and collaboration. Because of this, the EPA Act clearly indicates these 3 C's as one of its core functions, because environmental issues are cross-cutting issues. Environmental issues are issues of everyone. So therefore, communication, collaboration, and coordination are very critical in solving rabies issues. I want to thank all those who have made efforts in one way or the other to fight against rabies. Because of communication is key, that's why our communication unit has been a core integral member of RIT's communication team of the One Health platform. We will contribute diligently on the awareness aspects of rabies, community engagement, radio discussions, etc. For us to succeed in the effective management and protection of the environment, all efforts are needed. We should all come together for us to have a safe environment. We add the FAO representative among their 4 best, and one of each is best environment. I also want to toe the line of somebody who made emphasis on the development of community bylaws, and also strengthening community for the development of community dog ownership policy. This is very, very key. And we also had Dr. Qudus made mention of 2 key legislations, draft legislations, which are also very important. So I want to toe the line to appeal to put all efforts together to lobby so that this document is come to realization. On the issue of expired vaccines, I want to draw the attention of all that the following NDAs are very critical: the Sierra Leone Standards Bureau, the Sierra Leone Pharmacy Board, and the Sierra Leone Medical Supply Agency. These are critical agencies which I think we should bring on board to salvage this situation. So without much ado, I want to say thank you very much for witnessing this celebration.
Thank you very much, representative from the Ministry of Environment. We know everything is done in the environment. So that acknowledgement is being taken note here, and in other popularization, the environment from the Ministry of Environment, climate change will be part of it. Thank you very much for your brief statement. And now, as the chair, I think because of the time, we have to, each speaker now will be given 5 minutes to make a statement. So I'm now calling on the next speaker. Statement from the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development. Do we have this or no? No. Statement from the Ministry of Health. No? Somebody is here for the health. Oh, yes. Yes, it's better.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I think that's the best way for you to know that there's somebody here for the Ministry of Health. So, my sincere apologies for maybe not seeing the usual representation from the Ministry of Health and Sanitation in this very, very great occasion. Coincidentally or unfortunately, we had also another activity, was not designed, but we needed the presence of the Vice President and other people in the government. So the only day that was available for them was this day. We tried to see how we can sift things, but unfortunately we couldn't. So most of the Minister of Health heads, we are actually in that meeting. So we apologize coming late and then that small number. Notwithstanding, the World Rabies Day, from all the presenters, we have seen that it is very important, not only for the human health, but it is also very critical for the environment and then for the animal sector. When you look at the theme for this year, then it reminds us that fighting rabies is one way we can actually demonstrate how far we have strengthened our One Health platform. So for us to work towards eliminating rabies in 2030, then it requires the collective effort of not only the human health, but we require the animal sector and then the environment. And when we look at the presentation or those who are affected with rabies, I was going through the literature, so you can see that over 60,000 people are dying each year, and 40% of that mainly are children. And you can also see, for instance, when Dr. Kudus was giving the experience, and you see that children are more with their parents, and they normally suffer because of their defense mechanism might not be as strong as you and I. So that tells you that we need to work together and see how we can actually eliminate rabies. And for us to eliminate rabies, for those of us who know, you have to make sure that you have a mechanism for you to surveillance, for you to actually know where these cases are. So you cannot say you have eliminated when you don't have a robust and effective surveillance system to pick those cases and then do the necessary reporting. So in the Ministry of Health and Sanitation, we have a surveillance system that recognizes rabies as not only one of the priority diseases that we are surveillancing, but it is also one of the 6 zoonotic diseases that we prioritize as a country. So initially, we are not looking at rabies directly, so we are using a proxy when we surveillance dog bites, cats or so, because those are the sources. So for now, in collaboration with MAF, the veterinary laboratory, I think we have made progress in making sure that we also try to diagnose rabies within the country. So that's a huge step we have made as a country. And also over the past month or a year ago, for those of you who are following in the EPRRC meeting, there is this call for us to have vaccines for humans. So, and the unfortunate thing is the rabies vaccine is not one of the vaccines that are being supported by government. So that means that we have to find another mechanism by which we can have the human rabies vaccine. So we started small. We have some quantity of human rabies vaccines already within the ministry, and we are working together with the Pharmacy Board of Sierra Leone and also the EPI program to make sure that collectively we make the vaccines available so that we avoid people actually taking chances and then extorting money from people who normally suffer from dog bite. So I've just been signaled that my time is up, but on behalf of the ministry, we are committed in working together with the other One Health sectors in making sure that we eliminate rabies in Sierra Leone together. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, from the Ministry of Health. It's better late than never, because we are talking here about health for all. That's the theme, health for all, animals and humans. And so many speakers have said so much here. They mentioned about somebody from the province that came to Freetown who was bitten by a dog, that went to the clinic where they should administer the treatment, but unfortunately there are others at the back that gave the wrong treatment. So it means there should be proper monitoring. Thank you very much for your contribution, because we cannot be talking about health, then we don't have somebody here to make a statement. Thank you very much. Now I call on the next speaker, the statement from Sierra Leone Cross, the head of the institution, is here. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair. But I am not the head of the institution. I am just heading one of the projects of the Red Cross Society. Thank you, Madam Chair, and members of the high table, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon to you all. The Sierra Leone Red Cross Society, as we all know, has been playing auxiliary role to our government during disaster and emergency response. And for this World Rabies Day, we have been giving support to 2 districts, that's Cambia and that of Kailame. And Madam Chair, please permit me to give you synopsis of help rendered to these 2 districts during this day. And Of course, for Gambia in 2001, we supported the Ministry of Agriculture to vaccinate 76 dogs. And in Kailao, we vaccinated 58 dogs. And in 2022, for Gambia, we vaccinated 104 dogs and 6 cats. And for Kailao, it was 88 dogs. And for 2023, we decided to take the campaign at children level. And as I speak, our colleagues are now in Madina at Tongoliba, helping the Ministry of Agriculture to conduct a few vaccinations. And throughout last week, we have been doing campaign on rabies in our children's of operation. We are operating in 6 children's, 3 in Gambia and 3 in Kailao. We have been doing rabies campaign, and we want to thank Breakthrough because Breakthrough provided IEC materials for us, which we have been using. And we have been receiving so much issues about dog bites, especially in a village called Kamasasa. Dogs form groups and coming during night hours to chase goats and sheep. We have seen so many examples of these cases being reported again in a village called Kasi in South Chibok. So this is very much important to take note of. And Madam Chair, the Sierra Red Cross Society through the CPD project is obliged to continue the vaccination come next week, but we want to ask FAO and together with our colleagues from the Ministry of Agriculture to please assist us with more vaccines. Because as I speak, what Gambia and Kailao receive, we already have 100 doses for Gambia and 100 for Kailao, but we want to continue. Because my statistics from as of yesterday, we've registered 432 dogs for Gambia alone. And for Kailao, we've registered 389 dogs. And we've already received 100 doses of vaccines for each of these districts. That tells you that we have more to do because we have to vaccinate the dogs we have already registered. And I want to thank one secretariat because they have been coordinating the activities for the previous years in ensuring that human beings and animals live in a healthy environment. Without much ado, I want to extend our thanks and appreciation to USAID because USAID has been providing funds on behalf of the people of Gambia and Kailao. Many speakers have delivered statements in the area of ensuring we have collaboration in order for us to tackle this deadly menace. I want to thank all and sundry and looking forward to see how best we could address our request. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the representative from the Sierra Red Cross Society. We acknowledge your contribution in fighting this disease, and you made mention about presently you need support from the ministry and other partners. The vaccine has been, rightly from the FAO side, has been delivered to the ministry. And if you want those vaccines, I think you need to apply to the district agriculture office where your operation is. If you're operating in Kabbalah, you apply the district agriculture officer in Kabbalah. In Gambia, likewise, yeah? Because we are all in this fight. Thank you so much for your contribution. I will now call on the speaker, the representative from Office of the National Security to give his statements.
quite a long time. Madam Chair, fellow dignitaries on the high table, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I bring you greetings from the National Security Coordinator, who has asked me to represent him in this meeting. By way of my selection, I represent the department. I lead a department called Protective Security, VAPS, Vetting Protective Security of Office of National Security. It's been a very serious engagement, which I want to join our most elderly Dr. Jallo, who said that by the representation here today, he felt a little disappointed. And I want to join him on that because observing the various vulnerabilities that have already been cited by speakers on the high table, it's much considerate that we need to have given the kind of attention to this day in terms of making sure plans are put in place on how we've gone ahead in tackling rabies in this country. And like our boss normally say, come to the table and tell me what you've done in your various institutional mandates, so that we see the kind of level of engagement at national level, I mean at your point, as part of your contribution to national development. The rate of vulnerability of our children, looking at the population of Sierra Leone, much more youthful, it's so alarming. Like I have my little boy every day at home, seeing a dog would like to play around its mouth, and I would just draw my body, not play like that. You see, and all of these vulnerabilities we can see around. It is high time. The plans are so huge. Even when we talk of national instruments to be laid in Parliament, still some vulnerabilities are around that area. And I really want to call on the ministry, which is responsible in doing so, to make sure that these legal documents are laid and we have the kind of national engagement that will benefit from that. I don't think if the Ministry of Agriculture is being represented at our weekly meetings, which is National Security Council Coordinating Group, NSCCG. This is the steering committee of the Office of National Security, and as at large also for Sierra Leone advising the presidency on key national issues, especially like this. And if they are not represented, I want to bear this message to them that try for their representation, because short vulnerabilities would be key items on our agenda for discussion. On the side of sustainable development goals, with regards to animal population, which Dr. Jallo mentioned, I want to say my department is looking up to having a kind of community control mechanism in making sure we know the dog population and we can have a situation wherein the dogs will be used for our benefit in this country. He mentioned the fact that dogs are free securities in Sierra Leone, right? And it is true. But for us at Protective Security and Private Security Department, Directorate of the ONS, we've now been able to develop regulations for private security engagement in Sierra Leone. And some of the security services we've identified going forward is allowing dogs as security partners within the population. Many times, people want to register the use of dogs for security purposes. And if we handle that aspect well, we'll see how much we'll put our dogs into business in this country. It's just an eye-opener to this, because people have already started sending in applications. for use of dogs as security in their homes. But the question is, how much control do we have over these dogs? What is the kind of dog population we have in this country? So we are still looking at that situation in making sure we use dogs as proper security agents for our homes. Without wasting more time, I want to register this concern because this report really reached the National Security Coordinator, and also looking at possibilities wherein the Ministry of Agriculture have a representation at NSCC so that some of these critical issues are discussed for national development. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Representative from the Office of the National Security. So we already know now that it's a security issue. We are talking here about rabies, health, prevention, environment, vaccines. Now we see the issue of security in there. So we should know how important this thing is. And also I take cognizance about the ministry be part of that committee that you are talking of, because these are developmental issues. Security is very paramount to our development. Yeah, thank you so much. We have now the chief. How do they call it? The chief CVO, the chief veterinary officer. And the other one will say outgoing director of livestock is here to give a statement.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I want to take this opportunity on my behalf as a retired civil servant. So thank you very much for giving me the accolades to make a statement as an elderly statesman in this August gathering. It is quite evident that rabies has caused a lot of human deaths from the time it was discovered in Sierra Leone in 1949. It was in 1949 that we first registered rabies in Sierra Leone, and in 1951, TECO lab confirmed rabies. So you can see that TECO has been in existence even before independence. So that shows clearly how we are still working towards maintaining TECO lab in Makeni. In 1971, 13 people died of rabies, and that same year, 4,700 dogs were vaccinated at that time. I'm giving you a short history of what has been happening. And then in 2018, 10 people died also of rabies in Sierra Leone. 2019, 10 also died again. CBL, they started confirming rabies cases now after the rebel incursion. In 2020, 9 cases were confirmed at CBL. 2021, 12, and 5 in 2022. Then for 2023, except for a few days now that have not been really contacting them, I have on my record 7. And that has happened in Sierra Leone for the past years. And we know that a lot has been done. I want to applaud the One Health platform for collectively working together to address zoonotic diseases in the country. I want to recognize also the effort of FAO, Breakthrough Action, Red Cross, for the unflinching support they have accorded to the Ministry of Agriculture. The One Health family have an engagement of this nature which draws us to the theme of this year of World Rabies Day. We have done a lot, Mr. Chairman. A lot has been done to have vaccination coverage of, a lot has to be done, to have a vaccination coverage of 75% and to eradicate rabies in 2030. 7 more years to go. We have 7 more years to go to meet the deadline that is being set for 2030. This cannot be achieved single-handedly. We need to galvanize our efforts, speak the same language, since diseases have no boundaries. We work on the same page and then see that we really work towards eradicating this disease in 2030. It is very important to raise awareness of the consequences of human and animal rabies and how we can prevent it. We spoke about, a lot of people have talked about how we can work collectively to eradicate rabies in 2030. And Dr. Gudus also mentioned about the legal documents that we are supposed to work with. Those ones we have presented them to the Well of Parliament. They have gone through cabinet and now they are in the Well of Parliament waiting for their approval. That we have done. And I believe that the permanent secretary, the senior permanent secretary, is working assiduously on that to see that at least this new cabinet, parliament, will now give the stamp on it to really be enacted. I think there's not much I can talk again about what has happened because a lot of people have talked a lot. And if I still continue saying it, it will just be repeating what they have said. I want to just take this opportunity to thank you very much for giving your time to this activity, because it is not an easy task really for people to leave their busy schedules to come for programs of this nature. We have many competing activities, and therefore people cannot really attend to. Much more people that we are expecting did not come to attend this gathering. But on the whole, we want to say thank you for those that have really made it up to come and see that we are all working together towards eradicating rabies in 2030. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, our outgoing CVO. Thank you for your contribution. You said much has been done, much has been said. Saying it will be repetition. So we know that already. So what is left is the reflection for the day, because most of the things discussed here need to be reflected when we go back to our offices in order for us to strategize and put our plans for actions. Next on the agenda, we have an update of awareness campaign on the reduction of human exposure to dog bites to rabies. Okay, that has been withheld. So we move on to the integrated surveillance.
Okay, thank you so much. I will not bother you with so many literature, just to show you how rabies destroy human. Like the speaker was saying, we all know that rabies starts from animal, not so. And Madam Chair was saying not to blame the dog, because the dog also is taking it from the wild, the domestic. So this is so far what we had 3 years back in Bombali. This is Sierra Leone. The person was beaten by a dog and later on started the treatment. You know what? One thing we need to emphasize on, the anti-rabies vaccine for human. The one that people are giving. Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
I think you can wait till we go down so we can see your presentation. Then we can come up again. Because the minister will speak.
thank you so much. So, like I was saying, the anti-rabies vaccine we have in the country, one thing we need to emphasize on, some people, when bitten by a dog, they will say, I'm going to take the vaccine. But normally what they are giving is a toxoid, not the vaccine. And they will normally tell them 50,000 or 100,000. That's not anti-rabies vaccine. Anti-rabies vaccine cost for human is higher than 100,000, even for the animals. So in some setting, you will hear 350, 400 for one shot, that the person needs to take 3 shots if the dog is known, and 4 shots if the dog is unknown, like a stray dog walking. So if you have an incident like this, he took the 50,000 shots. A week later, he started barking like a dog. We have similar case again at Fobe Road. The only guide child of a family of 60 years, the father is 60 years old, mother is 60 years old, now the only picture that he gets. After the last shot, he again starts for barking the dog at the end of the day. That's not the last time he died, obviously. So let me just watch what may happen now, other country, how Motorman the bag like dog. So when they see how the boss in the back, when they hear the sound, in the back like a dog, this is the last stage. Nothing, no day for doing for. I mean, no do nothing. At this stage, anybody who a bet is scratch or speed palm, tendency for liver contact the same thing is greater. So now make they put on at the bed. You see how the entire oxygen in the brain. So, but since we, the animal doctor, then, at this stage for animal, we able to put them down, we call it calling. But what man they allow, because it's in our God and everything for them, that human. But we, animal side, we able to put the animal down. Okay, so this is another, just for showing now how dangerous it is. This is another video. Okay, this is Angola. So when I see young baby beaten by a dog, in back when they just wait no more for the last days then. Yes. You know easy. These are the healthcare diva. Instead they cry because they feel if Nabi hearing picking high for do. So yes, all these are patients in the hospital beaten by dogs. You know, when giving the statement, somebody mentioned say most of the dog bite cases na picking they get not so because they walk and play with the dogs like in dinner halls or when they're off from school. So you see? Yes. Okay, so the video long, I just give you a short one there. Okay, this now how it manifests because most of the signs for human, you get the photophobia and agoraphobia. Agoraphobia is the afraid water, when they can even dog. So motorman again are the same thing. When I look this now 48 years man, where you get rabies. So they get water for they drink for anything where they drink. You able to drink them because I just watch. So let's go out.